Hey guys, it's Kai. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get the Norse skin by beating Pig 64 Part 2. To beat Pig 64 Part 2, you're going to have to beat Part 1 first, and I have a video on that, link in the description. But once you've beaten Part 1, when you join the game, you're going to get a pop-up saying that your account is banned, which don't worry, that's not actually true, that's part of the game. Once you see that pop up, you're going to want to go to this glowing white box and you're going to find this like NPC system operator person inside, and you're going to want to talk to them, and they're going to ask you a bunch of trivia questions. Every single question they ask you, put exactly the same answers as I put. Some of the questions are going to be in a different order than how I get them. They're going to be in a different order for you, so just go throughout the video to find the question that you're on and just copy my answers. Once you've completed that, he's going to tell you that you're unbanned, you'll get a badge, and you're able to leave the box. And once you leave the box, you want to go to this big ship and talk to the person in front of the ship. And you're going to ask them if you can go to the pier, but they're going to ask you for $1,000,000 bills or whatever. And you're going to be like, well, I don't have $1,000,000 bills. I'm not rich like that. So you're going to walk behind you, and there's going to be a check that you can collect, and you give it to this person. Once you give it to them, they're going to give you a ride on their ship, and it's going to take you to the pier. Once you're at the pier, you want to collect a whole bunch of bills. I recommend collecting even more than you think you will, because you're gonna have to buy a whole bunch of stuff throughout this whole thing, and you're just gonna have to keep going collecting bills and stuff. So just collect a whole bunch at once. I made the mistake of needing to do it a whole bunch of times, but you're gonna talk to this bird person, and you're gonna get 2 grape juices, and you're also gonna need 77 extra bills to spare. Then you can go to the regular world, and you're gonna talk to the other shop person, get 5 tasty drinks, a magnifying glass, 77 extra tokens, and I highly recommend getting a flashlight and umbrella because it'll help you a lot in the future, but it's optional. Then you're gonna go to the other world, talk to the pig, and you're gonna craft a shrinking potion. Go back to the regular world, you want to go to where this windmill is, and in one of these trees there's going to be a tiny door, and once you find the tiny door, it's kind of hard to see, you want to drink the shrinking potion so that you're able to fit into the door and enter it. Once you're inside the tree or wherever it takes you, you're going to go up these stairs, and there's going to be a keypad, and in the keypad you want to enter in 6845. Once you're inside the tree or wherever it takes you, you're going to go up these stairs, and there's going to be a keypad, and in the keypad you want to enter in 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 6845. 68 After you enter in the code, a door will open up and there will be a treasure chest that you want to open, and inside the chest there's going to be a dog bone which you will pick up. Go back to the pier and talk to this dog and buy Shuffle Rock, Foot Kicks, Hasty, Quick Shuffle, and Downtown emotes. Then you're going to want to talk to the dog again and show her the bone, and you're going to propose a trade so that she gives you a key and you give her the bone. But first, to do this, you have to at least tie her in a dance battle, and the way you're going to do this is you have to use certain emotes for certain songs in a specific order, and it gives you points. To use emotes, you have to press G if you're on a computer. I don't know how it works on a mobile device, but for computer, when you press G, and do all of the emotes in order that show up on the screen. I also recommend just spamming the emotes, like pressing G and then clicking like immediately, so that you can just get extra points. You can also just let it run and it'll still give you points, but if you want to make sure you win, then I recommend spamming it. After you win the dance battle, you'll get another badge and she'll have given you the key. Equip the key and head to the other world to talk to this pig, and he'll fix the key for you. Once he fixes the key, you're gonna get a pop-up saying that somebody wants to talk to you, and you're gonna click no, and it's gonna show up again, and then you're gonna click no a second time, and it's gonna force you to click yes, and you're gonna have this long cutscene with Nor. Once you're done talking to him, all the worlds are going to get dark and distorted. So you're going to want to go back to the pier, but be careful because in all the worlds there's a bot that if it sees you, it'll try to kill you. So there was one time I was AFK and then I died because it saw me and it killed me. So just be careful about that. It's pretty easy to avoid them. And you're going to want to talk to Ace the Axolotl and buy a hammer and a lockpick. Once you've done that, you can head over to this door and it's going to tell you that you need the hammer and lockpick. So just click on it, hit the bolts with the to use the hammer to take off the planks, and then you can open the door using the lockpick. Once you've unlocked the door, enter it and it's going to take you to the sewers. There's another one of those bots that can kill you, so just be careful about that. And head over to this door and use the green key to open the door. Enter in the door and there's gonna be this room on the side where there's an officer pig and a bunch of suspects. So you want to talk to the officer pig. He's gonna explain to you that somebody has stolen a robot part, and you're gonna want to use a magnifying glass, and while holding the magnifying glass, talk to every single animal, and once one of them mentions a robot part, because they're not supposed to know that it's a robot part that's been stolen, once one of them mentions that, you're going to say verify suspect, and then you're going to talk to the officer Pig and tell them that is that suspect. For me, it was Bunny, so maybe talk to Bunny first, because I'm not sure if it's the same for everyone. Once you tell the officer Pig who you think it is, he's gonna go over to the animal, check if they have the robot part, and then basically, like, congratulate you and be like, wow, you did such a good job or whatever, and then give you the robot part. You can use the robot part on this mechanism outside the room, which will open the door, and you can go through that door. Now just head to the end of this little road and enter this door, or a portal, I guess, and it's gonna give you a cutscene of, like, someone getting jumped, I guess, like a bunch of pigs beating up, like, a fox. And in my opinion, this is the hardest part of the whole quest, of the whole game. You're gonna go to the end of the hall and enter a door, and once you go through the door, you're gonna see Nor again, and he's gonna basically call you a liar because I guess you stole someone's identity or something. And you're gonna basically do a regular Piggy map with Nor chasing you. Now this took me a while to do. I'm only gonna show the attempts that I actually was successful at. For this, you're either going to want to use your flashlight or your magnifying glass because it makes it easier to see. I recommend using the flashlight because the magnifying glass changes the colors of the locks on the door, so it's kind of hard to tell where to go. But some tips are, first, what I would do is you would find a key to open a door, and you don't see Nor until you open that first door. So I would memorize all the colored locks on the first floor, so whenever I find a key, if it's one of the colors that I memorized, then I know it's on the bottom floor, and if it's not one I memorized, then I know it's on the top floor. And basically what you want to do is whenever you turn a corner, just make sure you look first to see if Nor is there so you don't actually run into him. And if he ever chases you, basically just spam roll going in a circle until he stops chasing you. But if you go too fast, then he might wrap around and basically cut you off on the other end and hit you. So don't go too much faster than him. Slow down and make sure he's still chasing you, and make sure he's not wrapping around the other end. There's also sometimes when he'll randomly see you, even if, like, you're not there. Like, he'll teleport around and he'll just randomly see you, and you won't know where he is, and you'll be thinking he's chasing you, so you'll just start running thinking he's behind you. But no, he's actually in the bottom floor going upstairs and gonna cut you off or something like that. He'll basically just know where you are and just will run to you no matter where he's at. So if there's any time where it just randomly says that he's chasing you, and if you don't see him, just keep looking in both directions around you to see which way he comes from, and then start running in the opposite direction versus just running immediately when it tells you he's chasing you. You actually get 2 tries at this, so even if he does catch you, you still have another try, but then if he catches you the second time, then you actually lose. And sometimes you might see him, but he won't see you, so if you're ever in the same hallway as him and he starts walking towards you, just immediately go the other direction and run away so that he doesn't see you, and if he does see you, you'll at least be ahead of him. Another tip is, even though you want to be cautious turning around corners to see if he's there, don't just keep going around in the same spots to make sure you know where he is. You want to keep track of where he is, but you also want to complete the map as quick as possible so that you don't get in too many chase scenes with him, because the more times he chases you, the less likely you are to survive. So just quickly look around the corner. If he's not there, then just keep going versus trying to make sure you know where he is at all times, because on my other attempts I would be extra cautious, and then that would just make me lose because it would take me way too long and then I would never complete the map. This whole thing was pretty hard, but the more times you do it, you kind of get used to it. You kind of understand what you're doing and think of strategies. I've already told you what my strategy was, and the way you know that you've basically won is if you find a black key. There's a door on the bottom floor at the end of the hall with a black lock, and you open that lock, and then there's going to be a broom inside. And now you basically can't lose if you get the broom, because you want to pick up the broom and just hold it out. Don't put it away, hold it out the whole time. Don't even turn on your flashlight or anything. Hold the broom and then just walk into him, and it basically just like whacks him or whatever, and then you've won. Once you've hit him with a broom, you're gonna have another cutscene of him talking to you, and then you're gonna be teleported to an obby, which has checkpoints throughout the obby, but it's a lot of distance in between each checkpoint. The whole obby, in my opinion, wasn't that hard. It's just very, very long. And this is why I recommend you get the umbrella, because it lets you skip a lot of parts. It basically just lets you glide through the air, and it helps a lot. Once you've finished the obby, there's another thing you can enter, and this one's timed. It's basically another shorter obby where lava is rising, and there's different levers that you have to pull to make the lava stop rising. So you basically just have to go as quick as you can. Use the umbrella to skip a lot of things. It helps a lot. And just basically go in the same route that I went, because I had to do it a whole bunch of times to actually remember where to go. So try to follow where I went, and I didn't find it that hard, but you will have to do a lot of tries to sort of figure out what you're doing. once you've been in it, it's gonna send you to another obby that I didn't bother recording because it was just an extension of the original obby and it wasn't very long and it wasn't very hard, so I didn't record it. But you're basically just gonna beat that obby, and then you're gonna see a big firewall and a path, and there's an elevator on the left, and you're gonna take the elevator down. When you get out of the elevator, there's going to be some signs with arrows, so just follow the arrows and it's going to take you to a place that you just jump down, and then it gives you another badge and teleports you to another area. And this is the final step of the whole thing. You're going to basically just sort of get to the end of this area and you're going to meet Nor again. You'll enter this portal and Nora's gonna start talking to you again, and this is basically the final boss fight, which was actually really easy. It only took me one try, which is kind of interesting that this was so easy, but then the last time we battled with Nor was way harder, considering this is the boss fight. This should be the harder part, but whatever. It was pretty easy. Basically, there's 3 phases. They're not that much different from each other. They're just slightly harder than, they slightly get harder each time. But he basically just tries to, like, hit you with, like, a fired ball, I guess. I don't know. And the strategy is to basically just run in a circle while spamming roll, and sometimes he'll send out tornadoes, but the tornadoes don't really do anything. You don't really have to worry about that. And then he'll take down his shield, and whenever he takes down his shield, you want to go attack him with the wooden sword that you have in your inventory. Once you beat the third phase, then congratulations, you've completed everything. You're just gonna talk to Nor again. He's gonna basically tell you that he was released into the other servers, like you released him from the game, he's unleashing into the other servers, something like that, I don't really know. But there's this other cutscene. Once the cutscene's over, there's a bunch of characters and everything's sort of like distorted and weird, and you can kind of just like walk around and look at them and stuff. And when you walk past the shop owner, keeper, whatever, a portal's gonna open up and you can just go through that portal. Now credits will roll and you will have completed the game. After the credits, you'll get kicked out for real, and if you rejoin the game, then you'll see that all your progress has basically been reset, so if you want to do it again, you can, but I don't know why you would. And here's what the skin looks like. Anyways guys, that'll be the end of this video. Till next time, goodbye!